Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going through my round 16 AFL tips plus predictions. So if you do enjoy, please do hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, let's get into the video. So this round, in round 15, I did very well. I made sure my tips saved this round, and I got a total of 5 out of 6 tips, so I'm definitely not disappointed by that result. The only game I got wrong was the Essendon game. So we'll go through the reviews. Geelong won, especially in that fourth quarter. They just pulled away, and the game pretty much fell into their hands, and the Cats, they possibly are looking like a final side again. I think, they'll probably still make finals this year. It's just a poor performance from Melbourne. Obviously, a big loss for the Cats, with Jeremy Cameron going out in the first quarter. It was horrible to see, but yeah, the D's, they just had a bit of a blip there, but I feel like they'll be able to respond next week. And then I just tipped Brisbane. I just thought that, they would probably be a bit better than my Saints at Marvel, though. I thought, actually, in the end, I was kind of debating. I felt like I should tip St Kilda. We were just poor, and, it was just a disappointing day for the Saints, and, we weren't able to score in that game. We got our lowest score for the year. We aren't looking like a final side at the moment, but got the Eagles next week, so, yeah, that's good. And then the Eagles, I shouldn't be laughing, got annihilated by the Swans at the SCG by 171 points. I'm sorry, that is just poor. It doesn't matter where you are on the ladder, you cannot be performing that. I mean, credit to the Swans, their percentage now is probably just almost above Geelong's, but and they managed to kick 200 points. That is just embarrassing if you're an Eagle supporter. I'm probably expecting a bit of a response next week against the Saints, but yeah, that was just very disappointing to see from the Eagles. And then I thought our tip the Bombers just based off of, they had a 4-game winning streak. They were probably due for a loss. Fremantle probably due for a win, with 2 losses in a row for the Dockers. Yeah, they responded back immediately. I was at the game, but Freo played very good there, and it was at home, so I wasn't too surprised by this result, but managed to get it done by 32. This one was a pretty good game. In the end, it was a bit boring, but yeah, it was still a good game. And then this is the game of the round, all right, and I tipped Collingwood by 31. Only got it done by 2. I thought this one could either be a flogging, a thrashing. The fact only because Adelaide play away from home. When they play away from home, they look like a bottom 6 side. But to be honest, in this game, I'm still backing in the Crows. I think, finals this year is probably realistic. From what we saw at the MCG, performing in front of a big crowd, to only be 2 points, and with the amount of scoring shots they had, watch out if you're versing the Crows in the coming rounds, because they are scary, and they're definitely building something away from home. They definitely were heaps competitive, and they made a big comeback from I think it was 20 or more points down. So they managed to kick 3 goals in a row. Maybe it was 6 goals in a row, I'm pretty sure, to take back the lead. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get the job done, but credit to them, they did very good. And then this game was a bit, the Hawks kicked 3 in a row after that amazing start from the Hawks. They only kicked a score of 34. And what we've been seeing from the past, few rounds, it's very disappointing to see from the Hawks. They kicked the first 3 goals in the quarter, and then they managed to only get 16 points on from there. It was almost as bad as West Coast. Well, not almost. They didn't lose by 171, but they weren't able to score, and it was just a bit disappointing to see. And the only teams that have won off the bye is my Saints, which last year was a completely different story. Somehow it ruined our season, and the Pies. So yeah, teams coming off the bye haven't been so great, and that's exactly what happened to Hawthorn. Had a bit of a blip there, but credit to the Suns now. They got that one done by 67 in the end. Let's get through to the tips, because that's what we're here for. On Thursday night, we have a pretty good match, I have to say. It's the Lions taking on the Tigers at the Gabba. Now, the Lions, last time they performed at the Gabba, they weren't overly good. I feel like there probably were a few things to work on. It was only a 16-point win over the Sydney Swans, and the Tigers, they just came off a bye. So is that bye curse still around? I don't know, but I'm just going to go with the Lions. I feel like Richmond, though, have been very good out of the late, and you ask me who's been in better form as of late, and you'd probably say the Tigers, even though the Lions still have been performing pretty good. I just think that bye curse will continue to happen. I feel like Richmond, with 4 wins in a row, yes, they were good against my Saints, obviously, in Trent Contrance 300th. But I feel like they're probably due for a loss in the Lions. I think they should be able to bounce back with some of the poor performances they've been having in the past. So I'm going to go with the Lions here to get it done by 25 points. I think, actually, I'll go them by 24 points. I think they'll just get it done by 4 goals and sneak through, run away with the win and steal the chocolates. And yeah, I'll predict the Lions. I'll back the Lions in this one to get it done. And then on Friday night, we have a pretty good game. Sydney versus Geelong. Now, last time these guys versed, it was 93-point win to the Cats. It almost was going to be 100-pointer, but that was at GMHBA and the Swans. Well, after getting thrashed by the Cats, they thrashed the Eagles, and now they walk into this game, and the odds are very close, just going with Geelong. And with how they played against the Eagles, I know it was the Eagles, but playing against the Eagles, and that was at the SCG too, so we do get that the Eagles are poor. I mean, yes, it was a 171-point win, but kicking 205 also was pretty good. It was against the Eagles. They've had a few 100-point losses. I'm going to go here. I seriously think that, the Cats, they can always show up to games, but sometimes they can just drop poor games, and they've gone win-loss as of late for the Cats. I'm going to go tip the Swans here. I'm going to have the guts here to tip the Swans. I think they would be able to sneak through the chocolates. Last time I tipped Geelong and they won by 93 points. So you never know. The grand final rematch, this one could be a blowout from Geelong. I'll just tip Sydney here. And I'll go the Swans by 7 points in a thriller. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off a 100-point win. Obviously, they're versing the Premiers, so that's just a stupid idea. Yeah, they're not gonna. Unfortunately for the Swans, they're not gonna. Pull out a blowout. It's gonna be close, and the Cats are gonna challenge them. But I'll go the Swans to win this game by 7 points, and I'll do a big call in this one. And my big call will be that both sides score over 90 points. Swans win by 7. And then we have at the Adelaide Oval at 11:45 a.m. time slot, we have Adelaide versus North Melbourne. I'm going to go here with the Crows, just with how they played against the Pies. Yes, they didn't get the win, but they were very competitive. Taylor Walker, very good in the end, and especially Jordan Dawson. I mean, he's just an absolute star. And when they play away from home, he's always been stepping up in the game. He got quite a few touches. He was pretty good in that game, Jordan Dawson. And North Melbourne now starting to be a bit more competitive here, but I just feel like this will be one of the days where North Melbourne just have a bit of a bad day. And yes, they're probably due for a win under Radden. They haven't won since, they've had 12, 13 losses in a row. So I think that they will eventually get the win. I know they've versed West Coast in the season. I feel like they might be even able to push for a couple more wins in the rest of the season. But I'm going to go the Crows here. I'm going to go the Crows in a bit of a blowout. I'm going to go the Crows here by 52 points. I just think at home they thrashed my Saints. Now they're versing North Melbourne. I felt like North Melbourne have been playing some pretty good footy in the past. Only lost to the Bulldogs by 21, but I feel like the Crows will just blow them out of the park here. This could be a totally wrong call, but I'll go with the odds are going with Adelaide. Obviously, I think they'll be too strong. Go with the Crows by 52 points. And, I won't do a big call for that one. Then at Marvel Stadium at another 11:45 game. There's no buys this week. I've just noticed that as well. I obviously noticed it earlier in the week, but it's just popped into my head again. The Dogs taking on the Dockers at Marvel Stadium. Now, I haven't really been tipping Freo as of late, but I'm just going to go with the Dogs. Now, that bye curse is still there. They just come off a bye, so I feel like now this opens up the opportunity for Fremantle, but people say it's a curse, and if it is a curse, it's something, I don't know, something godly or whatever. So I'm going to go with the Dogs here. Last time they bet them at home by about 50. If you can't beat the side at home by 50, and then you go to verse them at their home, I just think that it's probably a bit, The Dockers, however, they bounced back against that game against Essendon, got down by 32 points. I feel like this will be a very good game. The Dockers are going to be way more competitive, but I'll just go with the Dogs to get a win here. I'll go with the Dogs by 9 points. And my big call, I'm going to do another scoring call that both sides will score over 85 points in this game. Another high-scoring game. And, I'll go with the Dogs to just sneak through, get the chocolates, and win by 9 points. Then at the Metricon Stadium, I still like calling it Metricon because I don't like calling it Heritage Bank Stadium. At Metricon Stadium, it's Gold Coast versus Collingwood at Metricon Stadium. And now, this game is, it's the odds actually aren't too far apart. I'm going with Collingwood, and, in the game, they were very good, very competitive against Adelaide. They just snuck a 2-point win. I felt like Adelaide were the better side. I'm not going to go call it match fixing, I'm not like the studio or anything that calls games match fixing, but I just feel like that game, they probably weren't at their best, Collingwood. They come off a bye and they're almost looking like this bye curse was actually going to continue. I mean, one or another side had to win because they both had byes in that week, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to go here. I'm going to go in an absolute thriller. I'm going to go with those Pies to sneak up a 9-point win. I know Gold Coast played very good against Hawks. It is against the Hawks, who actually have been pretty good. But, the Suns are sitting 10th. I want them to make finals this year with my Saints, obviously. But I'll just go the Pies here in a bit of a more realistic one. I'll go the Pies to pull off another thriller. I have 5 points. I feel like Josh Dacos will have another very good game in this one. And, I'll just go with the Pies to sneak the Chocolates at Metricon Stadium by 5 points, obviously. And then at the MCG, we have the Bombers taking on Port Adelaide. In this one, it's going to be a very close competition. Port Adelaide coming off a bye with 11 games in a row. And the Bombers played very poor against Freo. However, it was at Freo's own home ground. I feel like Port will have to lose one, but I feel like it would be a bit weird if Essendon break the streak. Out of all teams, they could overtake my Saints in this one. We'll probably beat those Eagles. We should beat the Eagles, but if Essendon win this and we lose against the Eagles, we're in some stripe. I go with Port. I need them to win because if we get the win against the Eagles and they lose, they'll put the Essendon's percentage down. It will keep them away for a bit of time. So please, Port Adelaide, can you please pick up the Chocolates? And I kind of want them to continue their streak, to be honest, and possibly be the premiership favourites, maybe. I'll go with Port again, this one in a thriller, to win it by 7 points. I feel like it's going to be another good game. Because last time in that game at the Adelaide Oval, Essendon, they played pretty good against Port. So, I'll just go with the Port to sneak the Chocolates by 7. And then on a Sunday morning clash, we have the Hawks taking on the Blues here. And I feel like now Carlton, they got another win and they're probably due for another one, the Blues. I'm going to go with the Carlton to win this one to get their season back on track a bit. I don't expect them to make finals, but I do expect them to give a little bit of a response in the end of the season after what happened last year. I think they'll respond, and I'll go with the Blues here to win this one. It should be a pretty good game, but I just feel like with how the Hawks played against the Suns, it will be a 45-point win going the Blues away, and they'll be able to sing that song again after the full-time game, those Carlton supporters, not just before the game, but after the game as well, and come off another win. If they don't beat Hawthorn, I don't know. They're just too unreliable at the moment, Carlton. They should get the Chocolates there. And then at TIO Stadium, Traeger Park, we have the Demons taking on the Giants. Now, this one could be a very good one. I feel like this will go down to the wire. And being at Traeger Park, I think this Giants are certainly a serve of a chance here. They're a serve to take the Chocolates. Melbourne are expected to get it done against that loss. That game against the Cats was a loss for the Demons after coming off the bye. 15-point loss. Geelong could have easily won that game. They were by more. Geelong and Melbourne were both in the game. Melbourne were leading at half-time. And then, the Cats just snuck away, unfortunately, from the Demons. And, I'm going to go with the D's to win this one. I think this one will be very good, but I'll go with the D's here to win this one in actually a close one. I'll go with Melbourne to win by 17 because I feel like the Giants have been competitive and actually been picking up the wins. And some say they can make finals. I think that's just a bridge too far for the Giants. I'll go with Melbourne to win this one by 17 points. And, I'll go with Jacob Van Rooyen to kick 4 or more goals in this one. I'll do a big call. And then the final game played in Perth. I will be attending this game, obviously, because my Saints come to Perth. Come on, you Saints. And we verse the Eagles, who got flogged by Sydney by 171 points. I'm going to go with the Saints, but there's a twist. I feel like this is going to be a very competitive game from the Eagles. They're obviously looking to respond. I had in my head, okay, I need to plan this one out. I'll go with the Saints here by 47 till I saw what happened last week, and I've decided to extend it, not by anything too major. I'll extend it by 17 just because I'll make it realistic. I don't think, being at home, I don't think the Eagles will lose this one. Oh, God. Yep, they're definitely losing this one to my Saints. I say that and I accidentally say that. I don't feel like they're going to do another 100-plus point loss. If they do that, the Eagles, I don't know what to say about them, but if we actually lose this game, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to cry, to be honest, because I'm not just going to attend this game and see the Saints lose, We're versing the Eagles. We should get the chocolates here. I go with the Saints to win this one by 63 points, but I feel like the Eagles will respond. And I'll go with the Saints here. I don't think we'll be able to score too heavily, but we should, in this game, be able to score, quite a fair bit. I'll go with the Saints by 63. And my big call, King will have another pretty good game. He'll kick 3 goals in this game. So that's my review. That's my tips for this round. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. So I went with the Lions, went with the Swans, went with the Crows, went with the Dogs, went with Collingwood, went with Port Adelaide, went with Carlton, went with Melbourne, and went with my Saints. Come on, the Saints should get this one done here. And please do like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one.